Hey, I'm Kev Masako. Welcome back to Ride 3. As last time we began our adventure in the 600S on the track Evolution in the 2000s. It wasn't the best time overall, I would say. We didn't do well in England, but we did do well in Japan in the time attack, and in racing around Road America for the first time. It's always fun, especially at night. So now we head to the Supersport 600 Championship as we begin in Imola in the rain. Fantastic. So we are looking down for a rainy visor as we get underway here in Italy, as it really is pouring it down, and we get a dreadful start. Way too big a wheelie. So we're down to 11th. Let's fight our way through the field then as we go towards Tamburello. Really trail breaking it through there. Well, good exit. Closing it to the outside. So we made back one place as frame rate's tanking a bit as you would expect, and someone's got a disc over the head in front. What was that all about? Does it get pushed wide? We're back where we started in 8th. As we go into Tosa. Someone goes slow in front, so we hit them, and then we get hit from behind. But you all survive, just about. We go towards the left. That guy's still got a disc over his head. What the hell is that all about? 3rd place. You can see it in front. So go through the left into the double right now. Oh, we're going to dive down the inside for 6th. Look at that. He's got a disc. Oh, it's gone now as I go into the chicane. Everyone's slow in front. He's got it back. That is just distracting me way too much on this open lap as you go downhill. They're one of the trickiest braking zones on the circuit. They've got quite a few of them. So that curve just pushes us to the curb. From curb to curb, I guess. And he's got the disc again on the start-finish straight. What is going on with these guys? We're about to pass them. The anointed one drops out the podium places as we work our way up to set. Why is everyone lifting on this start-finish straight? As we grab the lead into Tamburello. Second, not a big fan of it. So we make it through in one piece. Now we've got clean air in front. Let's see if we can pull away. As we go through Villeneuve and into Tosa. Quite a few fans on the outside here. The right-hander. Pretty motionless though. But they don't want to be here. I can understand that feeling, definitely. So he just goes around our outside like we aren't even there. And through the left, but we know we're strong through this section. As we go into the back of the leader. Try and find a way past, but the Suzuki holds firm. But we know where we're strongest anyway. We don't really need to force it here. We go into the chicane. Get a decent exit despite the whee. Right in the slipstream. Going seems to not be too bad. As you nip down the inside. Not going to work though. And into the final corner. Pick it up and accelerate. And avoid the guy. Why is he lifting there? It's flat out. Look how wide this track is. Seriously. So we're 4/10 up. Seems like gearing's good. We're hitting the rev limiter just where we want to be. We outbrake ourselves into Tamburello. Good job. You've got to be careful with the curves round here. It is in the wet. And you know, curves are kind of made to be abused round here. Can bite you in the arse if you get too much wheel spin on them. It's into Tosa. The crowd barely murmuring on the grandstand on the outside. But it seems like 9% is our level then, which is a bit disappointing. I would have expected to be at least 100, but just not as good as you are in the MotoGP, seemingly. So we've gone wide. Get back on the track. Where are you going, Pike? I want you to go back on the track. Absolutely ridiculous. Could not cope with the understeer through that section. But we can cope with the wheel on the exit of the chicane. And so right where we perhaps want to be. Of course, the leading would be better, but this isn't too bad. Right in the tail end of the leader. Going into this final section. As long as you don't go too wide in the final corner. We've got the power nicely. Got on the curb a bit too much there. Got quite a lot of wheel spin. And then let us by to win. How kind of them. So we get the perfect start. Bit underwhelming, unfortunately. Them lifted on the start-finish straight. As we're a second faster than anyone, but we only win by 7/10 of a second out of the Suzuki. And the Triumph Daytona rounds out the podium. So we get 25 points to begin with. Let's head to... It's not Cadwell next, is it? No, it's not. It's the Nürburgring at night. The full Grand Prix circuit, though. That's what the hell are those streaks across? Are those shadows? Doesn't look like shadows. As you drop down to the last at the start. What is with all the trees round here? I've never seen so many trees. In the Grand Prix circuit, at least. Let's just sneak by back to where we started. And then run very wide. Taking a very wide line here, but it seems to be working out. And everyone really slows into the left. So the leader's trying to get away a bit. As we get pushed wide, I'll rejoin in sixth. Now into... Whoa, that was a very bumpy braking zone. Seemed to have caught out third. He was very slow there. Using it to the outside. We've got a gap. And then into... I think this is a Dunlop curve, isn't it? Dunlop hairpin. We've got to remember our double apex here. If we're allowed to cut back. Not quite. So we're up to second already. This is ridiculous after one sector. Then through the Schumacher S. Do not want to take all the curbing because that's really set us up. Or upset us in the middle of the corner. Then this corner, which is always tight, it feels like, then it really is, as first just lets us by again. How nice of them. I like this championship. They're just letting us by into the lead. Didn't even wait till the straight. As now, do we have the Vidal chicane? The very tight chicane? Yes, we do. Gonna power hard as you come to the end of the opening lap. Pretty happy with where we are, I would say. We go through the Coca-Cola curb. And now into the Mercedes kind of stadium section. I think it's named after Mercedes still. Gotta remember, because they also have that Hockenheim, don't they? The Hockenheim ring. Kind of their corner, their grandstand. They lord it over everyone. I mean, especially this year at the Grand Prix. God, everyone must have been cheering when Vettel messed up, despite him being German. So go for the right, accelerate. Now, it looks like 90% was a bit too much round here. Or not enough, should I say. Never known there to be so many cones on the outside of the corner there. Hello, the crowd are actually alive round here. We're in some cheers. You obviously don't get too excited in the rain watching the racing, but hey, at night, the lights out. So we had to be very careful then not to get on the power or in the gravel. We're just collecting some. Now we're an avid collector of gravel everywhere. That's why I go into most walls as well, just to test the tyre barriers and to, you know, collect some tyre barrier. Because you can never have enough tyres. I believe that's my rider's motto. And see, I've been very cautious this lap. It's probably going to be quicker than our opening lap, but it doesn't feel as good. As we go into the chicane. Braking around 150. Again, that's a bit too early as well. Okay, don't want to go over the curbs. They got 90 curves there. At least it's not 80 curves where they're so chunky and big that if you flew over one, you head towards Mars. I remember that catching out, I think it was Gerhard Berger in Adelaide, when they had the fast corner before the old back straight. He went over that curb and it cost himself, I think, second. Actually, it might have been in the 90, it might have been the 94 Grand Prix and thinking of, where he went over that curb and cost himself second in the race. Or cost himself victory, should I say, because Mansell came through and grabbed victory ahead of him. And I've seen that happen to a number of drivers over the years, especially in qualifying. Man, being on the limit and going over those big chunky curves of the 80s. With like turbo power behind you. I'd be absolutely petrified. I would have a thoroughly brown suit. And that's when they started having onboard cameras around the mid-80s. In 86, remember that on Johnny Dumfries's Lotus, then they had on Tsutomu Nakajima's Lotus as well. And he's alongside PK from 87 to, I think it was 89. And of course they extended the onboard cameras a bit more in the 90s before the whole grid had them. In F1 at least. I find it a bit weird in IndyCar, they still don't have the whole grid with onboard cameras. They only have a few drivers that have it each race. I mean, even in the Indy 500, they only have, I think it's like a third of the field have onboard cameras. And so it's perhaps good for the narrative, good for the telling of the story of the race when you have the leaders having all these cameras. But it would be a bit nicer to have the whole field have cameras. But again, that adds quite a lot of costs, especially if you're not going to use the cameras for like the guys in 33rd and just trotting around by himself. So I can understand it from their perspective, but we just had a bit more variety if they at least got it to like half the field. As we win by a country mile. We win by 12 seconds. We're 3.5 seconds faster than anyone else. Ridiculous. As we only lead by 10 points in the championship, though. It's all to play for heading to Cadwell Park. Oh, God. So let's get ready to dive in over a hill where we can't see where we're going, probably. That's at least my Cordwell experience. Let's get underway for 3 laps. Get a terrible start. As we drop down to 10th, and the Discus return. Look at that in front. Let's go towards the first corner. Don't get too distracted. There's right, everyone's slow in front. We try and take advantage by going into the grass, which actually seems to be quicker. Of course it is. As we get up to 3rd, ahead of Disc Boy. Up into 2nd, maybe. As we're level with God. We're racing God. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. So I got starstruck there. Racing the immortal one. See, that's why it has the disc over the head then. We're racing God all this time. We didn't realise. As we go down inside into 2nd. Not quite working out. As we're behind God. Something I thought I'd never say in this series. As we get up to 2nd ahead of God. I know God's trying to get by us. Damn you, God. As what are you doing 3rd? We're here. An absolute bellend. Get out of here. So now we drop down to 5th. We're losing sight of God. Not for the first time in my life. As we get up into 4th then. I think we've got to finish on the podium to win the championship. As what are you doing? Get out of here. Trying to squeeze us. We try and make our way down the inside with this long right-hander. Try and find our way past God. He's protecting Jesus, I guess, in front. Once again, we're pretty level with God. Into the right-hander. Get out of it. As we get our elbows out. Probably be sent to hell now. We're in a winning championship position. Oh, we're winning the race as well. What's the leader doing? Just D-daying there. So you go downhill. Into the left-hander. See, this is what happens when I'm not distracted or starstruck. We can actually make it through corners. Whoa, what are you doing? Pushing us wide. And so back down to second. That's what you're doing, God. Oh, God pushes us wide. Don't get a penalty. Because of our deal with the devil. Trying to nip to the outside of God. He's got to run on us as we go into the final lap. We're battling some holy forces here with our evil riding. That's all he elbows us. Man, I didn't know you're such a dirty rider, be honest. As we get up into second. Behind, we'll finally find out the leader's identity. Oh, it's not Jesus. That's a bit disappointing. As we get behind. Oh, we take a little look for the lead. Once again, we love this right-hander. As Rowe gets into us. As we go through Dilly Dally Corner. Downhill. On the power. Then into the hairpin. Got to back it up so much. Backed it up too much there. But hopefully that means everyone is a bit slow heading into this section. But let's pop the wheelie. Or not. So you kind of just ease it through the S's. We've got to be much better and smoother from now on round here. But we hold the lead. Just. Go a bit wide. Still hold the lead. Into the final proper corner. Accelerate towards the line. We're going to win. In Cadwell. And win the championship. Oh God, I got a bit nervous there about the God. He's on a Triumph Daytona. That's how you know. That is proof there. And he's Italian. Would have thought they had the Vatican flag next to him, but maybe it's not available in the game. He's only 8/10 behind us, so you win by just a tenth. And we did the fastest lap by almost a second. So actually 90% was a pretty good difficulty there. We may have had an advantage again in that time, but we had a good battle as we get all the credits, get all the prestige. You get all the stars, 9 of them. Fantastic to see. As there is proof. God only in third. So you win some, you lose some. I'm sure he's learned that over how many years now is it? Millions of years of Earth. As to reward us, we've got the Daytona Supersport race. As we've got it round the famous Daytona International Speedway and the full road course, it looks like. So we are at the famous home of the Daytona 24 Hours, which is coming next month. Can't wait for it. As we've got only one lap here. Okay, so we've got to get busy early then as the disc returns in front. You can see that. So we make our way up to 9th. Look at that disc. Oh, it's not even over God. It's over someone else. So you break down the inside. Saints for hitting us from behind. As we get up to 6th. That's behind someone. Do we dare go to the outside through the left-hand kink? Oh, we do. Up into 4th. As he nipped to the outside of 2nd. That's a bit brave. Leader's trying to get away as he head onto the oval. As we're almost side by side with God heading onto it. Then we outbrake ourselves. Got a bit too excited there. We should have a good run here onto the oval. Onto the high side, onto the outside. Up into second. Just as there's the leader in front. As do we have the chicane then? I better start lifting soon if we do. Oh god. I braked myself. But it worked. Oh my god. So I wasn't too bothered for this race because the main event felt like the championship and this just felt like, you know, dessert. But we'll take this dessert. Running around the full course, out pre-conceals accidentally and taking the lead. It all worked this episode. As we cross the line. In first. Oh yes. Crazy how bumpy some of those sections were, especially the oval though. I had to increase the ride height for this race because of that. We actually had a bit of ride height for once, as we were in by 6/10 ahead of Suzuki. Must have been bored of us. God wasn't even on the podium, how disappointing. So that is another volume completed, as yes, we have to go back to England to get all of the stars. That's the only event that's missing from it. This is a pretty good outing on the Supersport bike. Or do we go back to England now without a graded bike? Let's actually do that, shall we? This is going to be a long episode now. As there we go, Donington, 3 laps. We can do this. So we are looking down. Hopefully we can do it. As we rev it up and get underway for 3 laps. And that's an abysmal start though. As the disc returns in front, you can see that that's over 7th. Normally it's been the top 3 rider who gets the disc. Obviously the disc is getting passed down the order, I'm guessing. That's a beautiful run through Craners. Up into 9th. Oh, really diving for top 5. Not quite making it stick. Well, back up into 6th. I say back up into it, so for the first time in this race. Let's see, look for 3rd. We'll take 4th on this opening lap. Into the right hand, to take a little alert, not quite. We're too cautious. But man, is the bike so smooth for that section now. We're not battling for traction. But we will on the stop bike. It's now into the chicane. Oh, smoothly does it. Look at that change of direction. Up into 3rd. Now into the couple of hairpins at the end of that. Take a little look for 2nd. So we're fighting with God, I believe. Now into the final chicane. Got to be careful. Or hairpin, should I say. Got to be careful here, especially when someone's punching you from behind. Because there's a bit of camber there. As you're going downhill. He tries to force you wide on the exit, but they made us have a good run on the outside and up into 2nd. Just one rider to beat. So we were very cautious into the first corner. As we go into Craners. Can all block them though. Then into the old hairpin, run a bit wide. So right in the back end off first and a bit wide for the left. That was not very good. But then we can take the lead into the right. There's hello 2nd. Not very happy about it. Now let's see if we can run away in the second half of this race. Once again, braking very cautiously in that corner, but we trust the bike this time. Fully flat. We got on the power for that right hand kink. So different compared to the stock bike. And if you want one corner to demonstrate that the upgrades are kind of worth it, that's probably the perfect one. As now we brake into the hairpin, get it all the way down to 1st. Nice and smooth on the power as well. Don't want to just batter out the accelerator. Into the final hairpin. Get pushed wide by that camber. And go on to the final lap. 29 fat lead by half a second. 1 lap. And then we get a new bike. We complete our first volume at this level. Get close to the special as well for level 2. We go nicely smoothly through the left. Perhaps they need to go all the way down to second. As we lead by 1.2 seconds, just 7/10 quicker this lap already. As we really trail brake into that kind of brake up towards the apex. Shouldn't have been doing that. You get better at that. Just trust to release the brakes a bit earlier. God, I love that corner now. Used to be our worst corner, now it feels like our best. So brake into the chicane. So clobber the curb on the entrance. 1.45 up. We've only got ourselves to beat, really. And into the hairpins as we go a bit wider than the first one. And the back end wanted to get out. I know they really tried to get us on the exit. Just one corner to go. Nice and smooth on the braking. Nice and smooth on the power. Keep it in second. We don't want win. We just want victory, which we get. We were very slow in that final set, so lost like a second, but all that matters is that we've got awards and our stars. And now we can get our big reward, as we were just half a second faster than anyone else, but we win by 8/10. I don't understand best lap compared to time of victory, because as I said in Cloudwell, we were almost a second quicker than everyone else, and we won by just a 10th. And come to Papa Ducati for 1988. Look at this retro styling. That is definitely old school. Yes, we want to make this our main bike. And that is a volume complete. As we unlocked the special. Is that all we had to do? Win one volume? As we get the 1988 Ducati 851. Oh, what a fantastic episode this has been. Total opposite of last time. Let's see if we can continue the good times in the next volume. Predator Instinct, the modern Supersport 600. That does not sound good. Let's find out if it is though next time. So unfortunately, I'll see you then.